Welcome to Baxter Yoga. I'm here at the Oakland Yoga Studio today. Please come check out the studio the next time you're in town. Oakland, California, great place to do yoga. So today we're going to be doing a longer sequence. This is a warm-up sequence. You'll want to check out my reclining warm-up that we did a few sessions back. And this is going to be one done from the sitting position. So all these warm-up poses are done from a sitting posture. And we're going to start in hero's pose. So I'm already set up with a block between my feet, crosswise like this, and I'm actually sitting on the middle height of the block. You could sit lower or higher depending on your knees and hips. Of course, if you can't sit comfortably in hero's pose, then please sit cross-legged. I have a blanket underneath my shins to keep my ankles and my shins happy. And then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get into our hero's pose. We're going to create a nice length up through the spine, and we're going to go ahead and let the hands rest on the thighs, and either with the eyes gently open, or I might invite you to try closing the eyes now and seeing if that feels okay for you. I want you to turn your attention inside. Now when you do this at home, you might want to set a timer, and you could even do a nice long sit here at the beginning just to get yourself very grounded, especially if you've had a hectic day or the mind is distracted and you want to try and get yourself a little more centered and grounded as you begin your practice. But for now, let's just close the eyes. Let's tune into the sensations in the legs, the sensations in the hips. Notice the sensations in the back and the lower belly. Notice sensations around your chest area. Notice sensations across your shoulders and down your arms and into your fingers. Finally, notice the sensations in the neck and head. As you maintain your inner lift from the sitting bones to the crown of the head, take a moment to notice how busy or quiet your mind is today. You do that simply by watching your thoughts for a few moments, noticing the thoughts as they arise. Sometimes they'll get very interesting and then they'll fade out and another thought will take its place. So right now you're just observing, not trying to fix anything or change anything. And then as you maintain your inner lift, take the last moments of this centering hero's pose seat to notice the quality of your breath. So notice the breath as it comes, and notice the breath as it goes. And finally, as you maintain the inner lift very softly on your next inhalation, allow your eyes to open and bring your awareness back into the practice space. For our second pose, we're going to stay in hero's pose, and we're going to move the pelvis a little bit back and forth as well as the chest and head to do a little sitting version in hero's pose of cat-cow. So we're going to start by taking an inhalation, tipping the pelvis a little forward, lifting the breastbone, and letting the head drop just a little bit back. And then as you exhale, rock your hips back, round your back towards the wall behind you, and drop your chin towards your chest. Inhale, rock the pelvis forward, lifting and gently arching the spine into a graceful small back bend. And then exhale, gently rounding the back like the letter C in cat. And then inhale, arching, and exhale, rounding. So do that for 3 or 4 more rounds of breath. Usually I start with about 6 rounds of sitting or reclining cat-cow, but you can do more if you're so inclined. Today I'm going to be doing 6, and you can join me for those, and then if you want to, you can always pause the video and do a few more if you're really enjoying any, not only this, but any other pose that we're working on. And then come back to center for a moment. Okay? Good. Now we're going to go ahead and interlace our fingers, and we're going to press our palms towards our knees. And I happen to have my my dominant thumb on top, so I'm going to press my hands towards my knees. And then on an inhale, let's take the arms up and overhead, and then press the palms actively towards the ceiling. Let your shoulder blades lift with your arms, but keep your neck relaxed. So rooting from the sitting bones up to the hands. This is arms overhead position done from a seat. Right, so from the sitting position, we often do this pose standing up, but you can easily do it when you're in the sitting position. And then I want you to go ahead and take 2 or 3 more breaths. So I would start at home with about 6 breaths, and you can, or 8 breaths, and work your way up to 12 to 14, or even 16. So working from 30 seconds to 60 seconds initially, and over time you could do that even longer. Now on your next exhale, let's bring the arms down, all right, and then turn your palms the other way, and then change the interlace of your fingers so your non-dominant thumb is on top. Press the palms towards your knees, and then sweep the palms up towards the ceiling. Again, as you lift up, lift the shoulder blades with the arms. Actually feel like the lift is rooted all the way down in your waist. So lengthen up from the waist to the hands. Keep the neck and head as relaxed as you can, and keep grounding down through the sitting bones. So feel that nice length of the body. Again, about 6 to 8 breaths this first time, but anytime you want, pause the video and hang out for a little longer if you find this is a particularly interesting or useful pose for your body and for your practice today. Now on your next exhale, bring the arms down and release the hands and just shake the hands out a little bit and just take a breath in hero's pose because we're going to shift in a moment to a simple sitting position. For the fourth pose in our sequence, we're going to come to a simple cross-legged position. I'm sitting on a blanket. If your hips are really tight, you can sit up even higher, so make any adjustments you need to sit comfortably. Okay? So from here, we're going to do a little side bending action, and to begin, we're going to bring our fingertips to the floor by the hips. So this is dynamic, easy sitting side bend pose. So on an inhale, float the arms up and out to your sides, and as you exhale, let's tip over to the right, bending the bottom elbow a little bit. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale to the second side. Inhale to center, and exhale the arms down. Let's repeat that. Inhaling, exhaling to your right, inhale to center, exhaling to your left, inhale to center, exhale the arms down. Try that once on your own, that simple little pattern. Moving with your breath smoothly. And then let's change the cross of the legs, put the left shin in front, and let's repeat, but starting to the left this time. So inhale the arms up, exhale tip to your left, inhale come to center, exhale tip to your right. Inhale to center, and exhale the arms down. Let's do that again. Inhaling the arms up, exhale tipping to your left first, inhale coming back with the arms out to the side, exhaling to your right next, inhale, and exhale the arms down. Okay, we're going to repeat that one more time. Try it on your own. Same pattern, starting to the second side, of course. And then release. Let's change the cross of the legs back to the right shin in front. Now we're going to do that same pose, but we're going to hold it statically for a few breaths. So inhale the arms out. Exhale the right hand down. Take the left arm up and over, diagonally reaching towards the sky. Bend the bottom elbow, push back a little bit towards the left side of your rib cage, and find a good position for the head and neck. And then reach very actively from the left sitting bone up into those left fingertips. Again, we're going to stay for about 6 or 8 breaths here, but you can hold this longer. It's a great way to build strength on the right side of the body and open up tightness on the left side of the body. All right, so one more nice breath here, and then let's inhale and come up, and exhale the arms down. Change the cross of your shins, put the left shin in front. Inhale the arms up and out to your sides, and let's exhale and tip over to the side. So we're going to bend the left elbow a little bit, push back towards the right rib cage, reach actively into the right fingers. Position the head comfortably. I like to look forward, or sometimes I'll look down at my bottom hand. Pick a position that feels good for the neck, but instead of letting the head hang, really find the line of the arch of your spine to place the head into. And then on your next inhale, come up and out, and exhale the arms down, and maybe roll the shoulders for a moment. Okay. To do our fifth pose, we're going to actually have to turn onto the long axis of our mat. So I'm not going to use the blanket for this. I'm just going to set it a little bit off to the side behind me. And I'm going to stretch my legs out. And from Dandasana, I'm going to lean my hands back with my fingers either pointing forward or out to the sides, whichever feels best for my wrists and my shoulders. And then energize the legs, bring some tone to the legs, firm the elbows, and then take the lower tip of the breastbone as your head looks straight forward and lift the lower tip of the breastbone up towards your chin as you press down actively into your arms. So this is preparation for intense stretch of the east side or the front side of the body, Purvottanasana. And again, we're doing this statically. It's a great stretch for the front chest. It strengthens the arms nicely. The legs get a little toning as well. And then on your next exhale, like a sail losing its wind, let your chest relax for a moment, maybe wiggle a little bit side to side. Let's repeat that a second time. So firm the arms, keep the head neutral, lift the sides of the ribs and the lower tip of the breastbone forward and up. Now some people will take the head back a little bit, and you can do that, but you want to make sure that it feels okay for your neck. I personally prefer just keeping the head neutral here and getting the benefit in the arms and chest. I'll work on lengthening my neck in other poses. Good, and then exhale and deflate, walk the hands back, and then you can bobble your knees a little bit, twinkle your toes, and then release that before we move on to our next pose. Our next two poses are done from the cross-legged position once again. I'm sitting on a blanket, and you could certainly do that as well. So the next posture is done from easy sitting position, and this is the rotating or easy sitting twist. So to do this, right shin in front of left, fingertips on the floor. On an inhale, float the arms up and out to your sides, and as you exhale, turn to your right, bringing the right hand on the floor behind you and the left hand to the right knee. The head turns a little bit. Inhale back to center, arms to the sides. Exhaling, turning to your left. Inhale back to center, and exhale the arms down. Let's do that again. Inhale, the arms float up. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale, coming to center. Exhale, twisting or rotating to the left. Inhale to center, and exhale the arms down. Try it once on your own. Follow your breath. You're not forcing the twist. You're taking it to the comfortable stretching edge of intensity. Good. Now pause for a moment. We're going to change the cross of the legs, put the left shin in front, and we're going to rotate to the left first, not the right. So inhale the arms up. As you exhale, rotate to your left. Inhale to center. Exhale, rotating to your right. Inhale to center, and exhale the arms down. Let's repeat that again. Inhaling, the arms come up. Exhale, turning to your left. Inhale. Exhale, turning to the right. Inhale, and exhale the arms down. Try it once on your own. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, and exhaling. And finally releasing. And roll the shoulders a little bit. Let's put the right shin back in front. So our next pose is going to be the easy sitting forward bend. Great stretch for the hips, right? And so with the right shin in front, excuse me, pressing down into your fingertips and lengthening up, we're going to begin to tip forward from the hips. We'll allow the spine to gently round and walk the hands a little forward. And if you're a little stiffer, you'll be way up high. Sometimes you don't even have to go more than an inch or two and get a good stretch in the hips and legs. If you're moderately flexible, you might find yourself tipping down at about a 45-degree angle. And then, of course, if you're very flexible, your chest and head might even come very close to your legs or the floor. You can walk your hands out a little further as you come down. And again, the spine can gently round. You're not trying to pull yourself aggressively down. And then the head could come to a more neutral alignment along the curve that your spine is creating. I'm not a big fan of just letting the head hang. Instead, bring the head in line with the spine and lengthen the crown of the head forward. And when you do that, you might feel some additional stretch in the hips. As with our other static poses in today's sequence, we're staying for about 30 seconds or so, but in your home practice, you can certainly work towards 1 minute or 2 minutes over time if it feels reasonable for your body. And then on your next inhale, walk it back up, lean back, change the cross of your shins, left shin in front. So I felt most of that stretch in my right hip. I suspect this time I'll feel it more on my left hip with my left leg in front. So pressing down, lengthening up, and then exhaling and tipping forward and walking the hands out in front. Once you find your sweet spot, you'll hang out there. So again, you could be higher, you could be lower. It depends on your body, right? So you're not trying to force yourself into a position that's not appropriate for you. Try to get the head and neck lined up with the rest of the spine. For the very flexible folks, sometimes I have you press back through the arms towards your sitting bones. Instead of collapsing way down toward the ground, you lift up a little bit and push back. And for those that are a little tighter, you simply allow the hips to relax on your exhales and follow any opening or stretching that you might feel. On your next inhale, come back up for a moment and take a breath before moving on to your final pose in the sequence. For this final pose in the sequence, we're going to do a modified variation of boat pose. We're going to start with this one because it's a warm-up. We're not expecting that you're ready to jump in to a challenging posture right away at the beginning of a practice. So to do this variation, you're going to turn so you're on the long edge of your sticky mat, or the long axis of your sticky mat with your knees bent. You're going to lean back a little bit and put your hands on the floor, almost similar to what we did a little while ago with our Purvottanasana prep. And then instead of straight arms, you're going to bend the elbows a little bit. Instead of arching the spine, we're going to let the spine relax slightly. We're going to lean back and we're going to float the shins up about parallel with the floor. So if they drop down, you see if you can lift them up. My hands are lightly on the floor right now, trying to keep my shins parallel. And if you're very new to the practice, and this is really challenging, just stay for about 3 or 4 breaths. If you're a little more practiced and you want to stay for about 6 to 8 breaths, awesome. So I'm going to hang out here for just 1 or 2 more breaths. Again, I feel a slight rounded shape to my back, but it's not collapsed. I'm actually very conscious of that. And then bring the feet down for a moment, maybe just come to cross-legged position, shake out your hands, although I really didn't have very much pressure on my hands. If you're really putting a lot of weight in the hands, try to lighten that up, let the core and the leg muscles keep you up in the boat position. Let's try it one more time. So, feet out in front of you, knees bent, we're going to lean back a little bit, bring the hands about a foot behind you, bend the elbows a little bit toward the wall behind you, maybe a little bit more as you lift your shins up. Right? So, your chest, your eyes and your big toes are about at the same level, and you can look out at those toes if you want a nice object to fix your gaze on. Shoulders stay relaxed and broad as much as possible, and your breath is flowing comfortably. Now the second time in, you might feel like it's a little more work because those muscles that were keeping you up had to work pretty hard the first time. So if you need to come down early, listen to the body, definitely do that. Right? On your next exhale, we're all going to come down, come into simple cross-legged position. And then sometimes it feels nice just to circle the lower rib cage around in each direction a couple times. So you might want to release the legs and the belly and then take a breath or two before you move on to whatever comes next if you're doing a longer practice, or if you find that very satisfying, that could be a little mini practice for you to do, just that little seated warm-up that you can use to vary up how you begin your practice. Thank you for joining me today. You can follow me online at baxterbell.com. Don't forget to check out the blog Yoga for Healthy Aging. I also have much longer practices on the practice channel at the website yogauonline.com. Until the next time, namaste.